Hey guys, it's MH. This is MHA Universal coming to you with a new what if. What if Deku had a water quirk? So, I don't really know where what if Deku had an adaptation quirk is going to go, but if you have any suggestions on where it should go, leave it in the comments on this video. So, in this timeline, Deku's mother's quirk allows her to manipulate the water molecules air around in the air around objects, which is what allows her to seemingly have some form of telekinesis. So, in this version of in this what if, Deku is going to have a powerful hydrokinesis quirk, which basically allows him to sense water and manipulate it. And when his quirk first awakens, he accidentally uses it on the kitchen faucet when his mom is doing the dishes. So when Deku activates his quirk, he accidentally sends water shooting close to him, and Deku, out of instinct, just puts his hand up and stops the water from hitting him. Deku and Inko go to the quirk doctor to figure out what Izuku's quirk is, although they have some idea of what it could be. When Deku is taken to the quirk doctor, they test out his hydrokinesis actually having by actually having the by actually having the water in a pool. So yeah, and Deku is actually able to lift half of an Olympic swimming pool. So, and this is just his base power. And Deku when Deku gets back to school, he tells everyone what his quirk is. His quirk, and then when Bakugo unlocks his quirk, they kind of gain some sort of rivalry, with Deku being water based, and Bakugo being fire based, having a fire based quirk. So Deku actually when Deku gets to middle school, he is far stronger than he was when he first unlocked his quirk. Now he's able to condense water molecules in the air to create small droplets of water that are able to punch through wood, and on rare cases even punch through steel. When Deku then runs in runs into um the classroom being late, unlike how he normally is, because in this timeline he's rather punctual. And the reason he's late is because he goes to watch the villain attack that Kamui Woods and Mount Lady took care of. So Deku, upon entering the classroom, is told to sit down by his teacher and is counted tardy. So Deku then tells, or then is they are all told, they are all asked what they want to be in the future, and then the teacher throws his notes in the air and says, "Just kidding, I all know you want to go into the hero course." And then he goes on to say that Bakugo and Deku and were going to UA. Deku then runs, or then is not laughed at, but some people question how Deku could make a good hero with just a hydrokinesis quirk. Then when Deku ends up leaving school, he ends up taking the same shortcut as he does in the anime, and Deku then runs into the sludge villain. The sludge villain then tells Deku, or then says, "Sorry, kid, need to borrow your body. I didn't know the freak was in town." As he says this, he tries to take over Deku's body, but Deku just puts a hand up and sends the sludge villain flying, since since he has then since his body is primarily made up of sludge and water. So I'm saying that he's able to manipulate the water on the sludge villain's body to throw him. So Deku then runs toward runs doesn't run away, but is then met by All Might, who asks where the sludge villain went. Deku just points at the slowly regathering sludge villain, where All Might then knocks him out using his Texas Smash. And in this one, Deku doesn't grab onto All Might's leg. So the sludge villain encounter with Bakugo never happens. And in this one, I'm not going to give Deku one for all. Comment down below who you think should get one for all. And yeah, so Deku then, the next thing where it would change would be the 10 months of training. He would still go to Dagobah Beach, or not Dagobah Beach in particular, but go to the closest beach that he could, and Deku would then train his quirk and try and create things out of water with his quirk. So the hydrokinesis so his hydrokinesis is heightened to even further beyond. Yes, Dragon Ball Z Kai reference for all you anime fans that got it. Deku then runs toward, or not runs toward, but Deku, after the 10 months of training, can now lift over 3,000 pounds of water. Or not 3,000 pounds, that's barely enough to fill an Olympic swimming pool. Like, he's able to lift 5 Olympic swimming pools now worth of water, and if it's highly condensed, he's able to lift 2.5 Olympic swimming pools worth of water. And he's also able to make weapons out of water, such as water bullets and even a water sword. So we get to the entrance exam for UA. He gets above average scores on the written exam, and then because his hydrokinesis requires a lot of mental strain, so he's quite used to he's highly adept in his hydrokinesis, or he's highly adept in his intelligence. So when when he when we get to the combat portion of the entrance exam, he's carrying around 4 bottles of water, and they're kind of just strapped to his leg. So Deku then runs toward, once he hears go, he runs into the fake city and unscrews 2 of the 4 bottles of water, and I'm gonna say he actually uses water bullets instead of his water sword in the beginning, just because he's able to gather more points. He then uses his quirk in order to run up, or not run up walls. I'm thinking of Naruto. He then runs into Uraraka and Ida, who have each gathered about 20, or who's captured about 48 points, and Uraraka, who's captured about 28, I believe is what it was in the original. He then uses his quirk when the giant robot appears in order to shoot. He hears a scream and shoots the water bullets through the metal of the robot, and he actually ends up destroying it pretty quickly, or at least stopping it, not necessarily destroying it. Deku then gets Uraraka out from under the rubble and then says, "Are you okay?" Uraraka just says, "Yeah, I'm fine, but my legs, I sprained my ankle." And then the entrance exam ends, and Deku forgot to count how many points he had, but I'm gonna say he had about 52 or combat points and 22, or not 22, and then 60 rescue points, which gave him a total of 110 or 112 points, which is above Bakugo's. So he then uses his quirk to get home rather quickly, or not. He doesn't use his quirk. He gets home rather quickly due to his anticipation of the of his results on the entrance exam. So Deku then, after the 2 weeks, gets accepted into UA, having had the highest score. So Deku ends up run Deku ends up running into Ida and Bakugo on the first day of school. He actually gets there before Bakugo, but after Ida, who then says that who then says to Deku that he's a shining example of a hero because he recognized the true purpose of the entrance exam. Deku then says that he didn't understand the true purpose of the entrance exam. He just did what he thought was right, and that's what uh, a hero should do. He shouldn't go for glory or money. That he should be willing to sacrifice himself in order to save others. So he kind of has Stain's ideology drilled into him, except he has let he is less of an All Might fanatic than Stain it was. So he views actually a lot of heroes as true heroes. Like, he does know of Night Eye and considers Night Eye a true hero, as well as All Might and a few others, but he doesn't have that many. He has about 10 or 12 that he considers true heroes. Then when Bakugo and Uraraka walk in, they kind of see that Deku had they then see that Deku had gotten uh, a lot physically stronger than he was during middle school, because he did work out physically, not just mentally, on due to his quirk, and he figures if he can't use his quirk, he had better be able to um, do well physically. So Deku then runs toward or doesn't run toward anything. Deku then sees Aizawa in a sleeping bag, who says it took them 2 minutes to shut up, and that's not gonna do. So um he then rushes into the locker room after Aizawa tells him that it's time for another test. So I'm gonna leave it off. I'm gonna leave it off here, and I'll try to cover through the uh through the USJ attack on the next video. But yeah, and I'm going to try and upload once a week. So Deku then, or not Deku. So I have a few things to tell you. Hit the like button, hit that subscribe button, and if you enjoyed the video, tell me in the comments like what not only who should get one for all, but also um tell me where I should be going with what if Deku had an adaptation quirk. So yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.